Jake Sullivan sat behind the wheel of his dilapidated truck, the engine humming softly as he cruised along a lonesome stretch of highway. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a warm glow over the fields, but beauty felt distant, overshadowed by the heaviness in his chest. Another rejection, another moment where his dreams slipped further away. The crumpled letter on the passenger seat felt like a lead weight, its words echoing in his mind. Not the right fit. The phrase whispered like a ghost, a constant reminder of his failures and shattered hopes. He pressed his lips together, fighting against the swell of frustration rising within him. Maybe it's time to give it all up, he muttered, the thought scraping against his heart as he squeezed the steering wheel, wishing it could somehow steady the turmoil inside. Pulling over to the side of the road, the tires crunched against gravel. He rested his head on the wheel, a deep sigh escaping his lips. Lost. The word filled the truck's confined space, haunting him like an old friend. Then, as if summoned by his despair, he spotted a figure on the roadside. A woman stood there, her thumb extended, weary yet hopeful. Something in her calm demeanor drew him in, a hint of shared sorrow illuminating the dusk. "Need a ride?" he called out hesitantly as he rolled down the passenger window. She turned, their eyes meeting for the briefest moment, and he saw a flicker of understanding. "Yeah, I'd appreciate that," she replied with a gentle nod, climbing into the passenger seat. As the door clicked shut, a palpable tension filled the air between them. "Where are you headed?" Jake asked, attempting to bridge the silence. "Wherever this road takes me," she replied, her voice steady but holds a melancholy tone. He felt a sense of kinship swell within him, recognizing the weight of unfulfilled dreams reflected in her eyes. The truck rumbled forward, the quiet hum of asphalt beneath them becoming a backdrop to their reflections. "Life's a tough road, isn't it?" he ventured, breaking the silence. "It can be," Clara replied, gazing out the window as shadows deepened around them. "Sometimes you have to get lost to find your way back." Her words resonated with Jake, the unspoken hurt connecting them in ways he couldn't fully articulate. They were two wanderers navigating through their own storms, seeking understanding in an indifferent world. As the sky darkened, revealing a tapestry of stars, Jake felt a flicker of hope rise within him. The road stretched endlessly ahead, a path of shared journeys unfolding. In that quiet truck they became allies against the weight of their pasts, finding solace in the shared silence that enveloped them. As the headlights illuminated the night ahead, the distance between them began to close, each heartbeat echoing the possibility of a new beginning. The night was young, and perhaps within the shadows of despair, they could discover a glimpse of the connection they both longed for. The rhythmic hum of the truck's engine underlined the quiet anticipation threading through the cab. Jake stole glances at Clara, who sat beside him, her gaze still fixed outside the window as the landscape blurred in the dark. The faint glow of the dashboard lights illuminated the contours of her face, revealing a hint of sadness lurking behind her calm demeanor. It stirred something in him, an urge to peel back the layers curling around their shared despair. "Do you mind if I ask you something?" Jake began, his voice softer now, a careful approach into unknown waters. Clara turned her gaze toward him, eyes glimmering with a mix of caution and intrigue. "Sure." He took a moment, the weight of his own history bearing down on him like an anchor. "What brings you to this lonely stretch of highway? Just running away?" Clara smiled faintly, her lips barely moving. "Something like that," she replied, her tone indicating there was more beneath the surface. "Sometimes you need to get lost to hear your own voice again." Jake nodded, her words resonating deeply. "I understand that more than you know. This isn't how I pictured my life turning out." The truth hung in the air, unadorned, as he leaned into the honesty of the moment. "After my dad passed, music became my escape, but lately, it feels like the only thing I'm escaping from is myself." Clara turned her body towards him, a flicker of curiosity igniting in her eyes. "You were close with him?" "Yeah, we'd sing together in the backyard," he reminisced, a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "He was my hero. He made me promise to follow my dreams no matter what. I thought I could—" His voice trailed off, secured in the shadow of loss. Clara's energy shifted, becoming more attuned to his words. "What happened after that?" she asked gently, prompting him to continue. Jake sighed, the memories flooding back, both sweet and bitter. "After he died, I tried to pursue music, but it felt like the harder I pushed, the more I got pushed back. Rejections piled up like old receipts and I lost my way. And Lily, my sister, too. I just couldn't provide for her after that. I failed her as well. Clara's eyes softened, reflecting understanding. Siblings can feel like an extension of ourselves, can't they? When things fall apart, it feels like we fall apart too. A silence fell between them, heavy with shared acknowledgement. Jake sensed the fragmented pieces of Clara's life mirrored his own, even if he didn't yet know her story. I haven't spoken to her in years, he admitted, regret staining his voice. She once looked up to me, but after everything, I just disappeared. With a deliberate calm, Clara reached out, resting her hand softly on his arm. It takes courage to admit our failures, but it also takes courage to try again. Have you thought about reaching out? Jake considered this, the idea unfurling slowly in his mind. After a long pause, he replied, I don't know if I'm ready to face her yet. I feel like I've let her down so many times, and what if she hates me? I think she just wants to know you're still there, Clara replied. Whether you feel like a disappointment or not, you're still her brother. The words hung between them, and for a moment, Jake's heart began to stir, an ember of hope glowing softly through the ash. He watched as the moonlight danced through the trees lining the road, flickering like memories caught in the soft shimmer of nostalgia. They passed by fields that seemed familiar yet distant, triggering flashes of laughter, heartache, and the bittersweet nature of life. Music used to mean everything to me, he confessed, but now, it's just a reminder of everything lost. You think it has to be that way? She challenged gently. Maybe it's also a reminder of what you still have inside you. Music can heal, you know. Jake turned to Clara, struck by the fire in her words. How do you know? Clara leaned back in her seat, her expression keen and knowing. Because I once was where you are. Once felt the music slipping away too. She paused, recollecting her own sorrow, echoed memories of time lost, dreams interrupted, and the relentless grip of fame pulling her into shadow. I was an artist, a celebrated one, but when the noise became too much, I stepped back. I thought disappearing would save me, but now I realize I'm still here waiting on the sidelines, longing to create again. A flicker of camaraderie sparked. So, you understand? I do, she confirmed, eyes open wide and earnest. But maybe it's time we both step back into the light. Maybe that's the only way to heal. As the truck rolled forward, the road unfolding in its unending rhythm, Jake felt the first stirrings of a new sense of purpose. Clara's presence was gradually weaving a tapestry of inspiration and hope. They were two souls navigating the pathways of sorrow, feeling the weight of their experiences pulling them towards something greater. Jake's heart quickened, remembering those backyard performances with his father. What if we gave it one more shot? You and me, music together. Clara's smile brightened the darkness surrounding them, reflecting the power of connection blooming amidst their shared sorrow. Let's chase the horizon, instead of hiding from it. As they drove deeper into the night, the possibilities unfurled like a fresh song waiting to be written, and with it came a sense of belonging he never thought he'd feel again. Stars twinkled above, illuminating their journey toward healing and rediscovery. Two musicians finding solace in each other's shadows, ready to forge a path forward into the light. The truck rolled through the heart of Texas, the open road stretching before Jake and Clara like a promise of new beginnings. The air was thick with the scent of sagebrush and the sounds of crickets, weaving a nostalgic backdrop, reminiscent of nights lost to music. Each mile they traveled infused Jake with a renewing purpose, a feeling that had eluded him for far too long. As they reached a quaint small town glimmering in the moonlight, Clara turned to him, her eyes sparkling. What's the first song we're going to play together? Jake's thoughts raced through the memories of songs both old and new. How about Me and Bobby McGee? It's about freedom and all the things we've encountered, he offered, excitement building at the thought. Absolutely, it captures our journeys, what we've faced and where we want to go, Clara added, her voice resonating with enthusiasm. They parked outside a rustic diner that seemed alive with the gentle hum of chatter inside. The waitress, a woman with a warm smile, refilled their coffee cups as they took a booth near the window, moments buzzing with laughter and conversation. You know, Clara said, wrapping her hands around her cup, there was a time when I thought I had it all figured out. I was popular, sought after, yet I felt so alone. Jake nodded, memories of his own struggles flaring up. I can relate. After my dad passed, I thought I could find solace in music, but instead it became another reminder of my failures. I felt the same way. I stepped back from it all, thinking I could escape the noise. But in hiding, I lost a piece of myself, Clara revealed, her gaze steady. Understanding that is tough, Jake replied, feeling the weight of her words resonate within him. That loneliness creeps in, especially when pursuing something so deeply tied to who we are. But, Clara leaned closer, her eyes intense, that's the tragedy of it. We can't let those memories keep us from living. It's time we face our fears together, through music. As Jake's guitar emerged from the corner of the booth, he looked at Clara, a sincere grin forming on his lips. I'm glad you're here to remind me. They rehearsed late into the night, the diner becoming their sacred place of creation, laughter, and song. With each session, they conjured melodies that breathed new life into their stories, an honest narrative of heartache, resilience, and rediscovery. Regular patrons began to recognize them, humming along to their tunes, shedding smiles in response. Yet, as the warmth of their bond deepened, Jake's phone buzzed, lighting up against the diner's table. Notifications from his sister, Lily, flooded in, messages filled with shared memories, hope, and unanswered questions. They hadn't spoken since the fight, layers of hurt and anger built between them. Is everything all right? Clara asked, concern flickering across her features. Yeah, I think so, Jake responded, although doubt tugged at his insides. It's just my sister. We've been distant for too long. Why don't you reach out? You have nothing to lose, she suggested, her voice encouraging. What if she hates me? He clenched his jaw, fear creeping back in. She needs to hear from you. People care less about past mistakes and more about the willingness to try again, Clara pointed out, her hand resting over his. Her words ignited a flicker of bravery deep inside him. You're right. Maybe it's time I try. Taking a deep breath, he lifted his phone, thumb hovering over Lily's contact. You've helped me find the courage to face this. I didn't think I could. Just remember, Clara said softly, her gaze locked onto his. We're all woven from stories. You can heal together. As he pressed call, the phone rang in his hand. Each beep felt like a chapter turning, the weight of his past whispering doubts, yet also inviting hope. The memories and moments spent together with his sister surged within him, both the laughter and the pain. When Lily's voice finally came through the line, it was like a jolt of energy rushing through him. Jake, she said tentatively. Hey, it's me, Jake replied, his heart racing. I know it's been a long time, and I'm really sorry. Can we talk? In that moment, he felt the ties that had bound him unravel and transform into possibilities, no longer chains of regret, but pathways leading to reconciliation. Clara sat across from him, her smile urging him to remember the power of connection as they faced the road ahead. Their journey together, filled with shared songs and healing, was just beginning. With hope blooming between them, they prepared to reclaim their music and their lives, one note at a time. The steady rhythm of Jake's heart matched the pulse of the diner as he held his breath waiting for Lily's response. Clara's presence was a soft reassurance beside him. Her eyes reflected the hope they had both been nurturing. Jake! Lily's voice trembled through the receiver, pulling him from his thoughts. I didn't expect to hear from you. I know, he said, his stomach knotting with anticipation. I've been a terrible brother. I'm sorry for everything. What I said. I just want to make things right. Silence hung between them, like the pause before a song begins. It was shaky, yet full of promise. I've missed you, Lily finally confessed, her voice scarcely a whisper. Jake's heart warmed at her words. I've missed you too. So much. Can we meet? She interrupted, nerves threading through her tone. I think we need to talk in person. Yes, of course. Whenever you want, he replied quickly, trying to suppress the surge of emotion bubbling inside him. How about this weekend? I'll drive over. Okay, she agreed, the hesitance fading. That sounds good. As they hung up, the weight of the world lifted slightly from Jake's shoulders. He turned to Clara, his expression a mix of relief and uncertainty. We're meeting this weekend. Clara's face lit up with genuine joy. That's amazing, Jake. You took the first step. Just remember, it's okay to be vulnerable. Jake nodded, the reality of what lay ahead swirling in his thoughts. I just hope she'll want to forgive me. Give her a chance to, Clara encouraged, that fire of determination sparking in her words once again. You'll never know unless you try. The next few days flew by, filled with rehearsals and promises of new songs yet to come. Clara and Jake leaned on each other, turning their bittersweet experiences into melodies that danced around the walls of the diner, their sanctuary transforming into a vibrant canvas of sound. When the weekend finally arrived, Jake's nervous energy pulsated through him. He drove through the familiar landscape of memories etched along the road, echoing laughter and shared moments from their childhood. The closer he got, the more mixed feelings washed over him. It felt like coming full circle. He had spent years running from this moment, and now it was right on the horizon. Arriving at the small cafe where they were to meet, he spotted Lily sitting at a corner table, her gaze fixed on the window. She was older, yet those familiar features hinted at childhood memories, even the slight crinkle of her nose when she was deep in thought. "Hey," he said softly, instantly noticing how the warmth of her presence tugged at him, both comfort and nostalgia weaving together like old friends. "Hey," Lily replied, her voice thick with unspent emotions. They sat across from each other, silence stretching as they both searched for words. The cafe buzzed around them, patrons laughing and chatting as the smell of coffee permeated the air. Jake finally broke the silence, his voice steady but shaky. "I've missed you, Lil. I'm sorry for everything that happened between us. I wasn't there when you needed me." Lily looked down at her cup, the weight of the moment heavy. "It wasn't just you, Jake. You weren't the only one hurting. I felt lost too, and when you moved on, it felt like you left me behind. I thought I was doing what was best, that I was protecting you. I didn't realize how much I was pushing you away," Jake confessed, the guilt tightening around his chest. "I never meant to lose you." Her eyes shimmered, an echo of the pain they had both shared flooding into the space between them. "I was angry. I wanted to yell at you, to blame you for everything," Lily admitted, vulnerability coating her words. "But I never wanted you gone." Silence returned, but it was no longer heavy with dread. It was filled with the possibilities of healing. "Can we try again? Be there for each other?" Jake asked, his voice softening. "I want to be that brother for you again." "Yes," she replied, her voice finding strength in the openness of the moment. "I want that too. It's going to take time, though." Jake smiled, a warmth spreading through him. "I'm willing to put in the work, always." The conversation swelled, a mixture of laughter and tears spilling over as they navigated the complexity of their pasts. Jake felt the chains of regret weakening with every shared story. There were gaps they had to bridge, but their willingness to try was enough to rekindle the bond they once held so dear. Hours passed and they began to talk about the future, their hopes and dreams. Lily shared her passion for design, her eyes lighting up as she spoke of creating something meaningful. Jake opened up about music, how he had begun to find solace in it again thanks to Clara. "Clara? As in, the one from your diner songs?" Lily's eyes widened with recognition. "Yeah, she's incredible. She's been helping me heal," Jake said, excitement bubbling through him. "And you should see her play. She's got this gift. Together, we're trying to write something that means something." "Sounds like you're both on the journey of rediscovery," Lily replied, confidence shining in her voice. "That's exactly it," Jake grinned, "and I want you to be a part of it. We're planning to do some small performances at the diner. I want you there." "Really?" Lily smiled, hope blossoming like petals in spring. "I'd love that." Jake felt an undercurrent of transformation flow between them, a rebirth sparked by the desire to reconnect, both musically and personally. They spoke late into the evening, sharing woes and dreams, weaving together the frayed ends of their lives into a new tapestry. As Jake drove back home that night, the sky twinkled with constellations, each star a reminder of journeys yet to unfold. He felt lighter, the darkness of shame replaced by forgiveness and warmth, knowing he'd taken a step toward mending what had once felt irreparable. With Clara waiting at the diner, he realized they were no longer two broken souls wandering through the shadows. They were becoming the architects of their own destinies, penning songs of hope and renewal as they embraced the music of life once more. Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead, carrying the souls of their stories into dazzling tomorrows. The diner was alive with excitement as the night of their first performance approached, the familiar neon sign casting its colorful glow across the pavement. Jake felt a mixture of nerves and anticipation swirling within him. He had chosen a few new songs to debut, each layered with the emotions he had experienced over the past months. Clara had been the backbone of his resurgence, but tonight felt different. Tonight was about more than just their music. It was about reunion. Clara had been tirelessly preparing for the night as well, her creativity weaving into each note. She sat in a booth, adjusting her guitar strings, her brow furrowed in concentration. The warmth of the diner wrapped around them like a family embrace, and Jake couldn't help but smile at the joy that flickered in Clara's eyes. "Are you ready?" she asked, breaking the silence, her voice light and teasing despite the weight of their songs. Jake nodded, an inexplicable energy coursing through him. "Yeah, I think so. Just a little nervous." "Good," she replied, laughter dancing in her words. "It means you care. Let's give them something real tonight." As the clock struck 8, familiar faces began to filter in, their laughter and chit-chat blending into a cool harmony. Regulars filled the booths, their faces mirroring the excitement cradling the air. The diner buzzed like a beehive, each person awaiting the magic that music would bring. Lily arrived a few minutes later and slid into the booth next to Clara, her smile shining bright against the backdrop of fairy lights that adorned the diner. "I'm so glad to be here," she exclaimed. "Thanks for coming," Jake replied, the warmth spreading through him as he locked eyes with his sister. "It means a lot to us." "We're ready to get started," Clara said, her voice steady yet encouraging. She looked between Jake and Lily, gauging the moment. "Let's show them what we've got." The diner grew quiet as Jake stepped up to the makeshift stage, his heart pounding in time with the reverberating quiet. Clara settled in beside him, her easy smile calming his racing thoughts. The dim lights flickered softly above them, like fireflies in a Texas summer night. With a deep breath, Jake strummed the first chords of their opening song, a piece dedicated to the journey of healing and rediscovery. As the melody flowed from his fingertips, he looked out into the crowd, catching glimpses of familiar faces nodding along to the tune, fellow artists, friends, and patrons who had supported him from the start. Clara's harmonies swirled above him, mixing with his voice, illuminating the raw emotions within the lyrics. They poured their hearts into every note. Jake felt empowered, transported back to the places of his childhood, filled with laughter, dreams, and music. After the first song ended, applause erupted, echoing against the diner's walls, filling their hearts with hope. Jake grinned at Clara, a shared spark of energy flowing between them. They transitioned seamlessly into their next song, a ballad about love lost and found, words crafted from the depths of their shared lives. As they sang, Jake stole glances at Lily, who beamed with pride. The emotional weight embodied in the lyrics caused her eyes to glisten with unspilled tears, reflecting both joy and nostalgia. It was a sight Jake hadn't seen in far too long. Their family ties began to weave back together, piecing together fragments once scattered by the circumstances of life. As the performance progressed, Clara turned to Jake, a playful gleam in her eyes. "Let's do that new one." Jake nodded, his heart racing as anticipation built. They had written the song together, a testament to healing, complemented with honest voices and heartfelt melodies. He remembered those quiet evenings spent in the diner, scribbling lyrics while Clara strummed alongside him. When they began, the lyrics unfolded like a story of reconnecting lives, each verse resonating deeper than the last. The weight of Jake's past hung in the air, yet the uplift of hope tugged at every word. The crowd was entranced, a collective hush wrapping around them as they shared their rebirth through song. When the final notes hung in the air, Clara and Jake exchanged glances, a mutual understanding passing between them. They had taken the plunge into vulnerability together, weaving their stories into something beautiful. The diner erupted in applause, patrons cheering, some even rising to their feet, filling the room with warmth. Lily was on her feet, clapping with delight and tears of joy streaming down her face. "That was wonderful," she shouted, her voice layered with pride. Jake felt a swell of emotion surging within him. "Thank you, everyone," he called out breathless. "We never could have done this without your support." As their performance came to a close, the diner's atmosphere was electric, jeweled with laughter and grateful hearts. Jake could see Clara's exhilaration, her passion alight in her sparkling eyes. He looked at Lily, who beamed back at him, and he felt an affirmation of everything they had rebuilt, an appreciation of the music's power to rekindle love. "What do you think?" Clara asked Jake, wiping the sweat from her brow, catching her breath. "Unreal," he replied, exhilarated. "More than I could have hoped for." Before they knew it, customers began to trickle into the night. gratitude hanging in the air as they departed, leaving echoes of applause behind. Lily turned to them, her heart radiant. "I'm so proud of you both. You've truly found something special together." Jake felt a harmony ripple through him, the weight of their past lifting higher with every reassuring word. "Thanks for being here. It means everything to us." He could see how their journeys were affecting each other. Lily, inspired to pursue her designs, and Clara, too, feeling the warmth of belonging as they encouraged each other's dreams. Jake saw not only the power of reconnecting with Lily, but also the vital importance of Clara in his life, two links in a chain he never wanted to break again. As the diner emptied, Clara leaned in closer, their voices lowered but filled with anticipation. "Let's keep this momentum going. There's more music in us." "I like the sound of that," Jake agreed, his heart swelling. "Let's create something new, something that captures this moment." Together they returned to the stage, the mood still alive amid the vacant tables. That night they played one more song, one not yet finished, the lyrics half formed in their minds. With every note they filled the gaps together in a spontaneous shared experience, both thrilling and terrifying. As the final chord resonated against the wall, they sat down, the sweet taste of joy lingering, a celebration of music, healing, and reclamation of their lives. Tonight, they were not just performers. They were storytellers, reclaiming their narratives and composing the soundtracks of their resurrected lives, one note at a time. The triumph of their voices echoed not just within the diner, but deep within their hearts, breathing life into their songs and futures. This was only the beginning of something magnificent, a reawakening of dreams and a testament to the power of connection. Days blended seamlessly into weeks, and the diner became a hub of music and camaraderie, a place where dreams and melodies intertwined as effortlessly as the lives of those who gathered there. Each performance with Clara brought Jake a sense of completion, unveiling layers of his identity that he had almost forgotten. He had begun writing songs that reflected not just his pain or remnants of loss, but the beauty of new beginnings. Clara remained a steadfast companion, encouraging him to delve deeper into the words that flowed from his heart. "Let's try this one," Jake said one evening, his guitar cradled in his hands atop the diner's bar top. The warm light illuminated the scribbled lines on his notepad. "It's about the journey we're on, how we're finding our way back home." Clara leaned in, her interest piqued. "Sounds promising. Show me." With tentative strums, he began to play, a gentle melody intertwining with the warmth of the diner air. The lyrics evoked vivid imagery, each line a reflection of light filtering through the cracks of his heart. Clara joined him, her harmonizing voice weaving effortlessly with his, creating a rich tapestry of sound. "That's beautiful," she murmured, as the final notes lingered in the air. "It captures everything we've been through, how life sometimes leads us astray but finds a way to bring us back." "Exactly," Jake smiled, elation coursing through him. "It's like all the pieces are falling into place." As they shared these moments, Jake felt a renewed connection to the world around him. His relationship with Lily continued to blossom, the walls built around their past slowly crumbling with each conversation. She would join them at the diner, drawing sketches while listening to them play, her passion reigniting with every passing day. One lazy afternoon, Ivy, the diner's owner and a second mother to Jake, walked up to their booth. "You kids have been amazing lately," she said, her eyes gleaming with gratitude. "I want to do something special. How about a Saturday night showcase? A night dedicated to you two?" Jake's heart raced at the thought. "A showcase, like a full set?" "Exactly, we'll spread the word. People need to hear what you've created together," Ivy said, her smile infectious. Clara's excitement mirrored Jake's own. "That would be incredible." Jake nodded, feeling a mix of nerves and anticipation. "What do you think? Can we pull it off?" "Of course we can," Clara replied, her energy boundless. "We can go through our songs, create a set list, and really show everyone what we're capable of." As days morphed into moments of preparation, Jake and Clara worked tirelessly on their performance, practicing new songs while polishing the old ones. They added layers, backup vocals, special solos, and even harmonica interludes, filling the air with their revived passion for music. Saturday crept closer, and a nervous excitement buzzed around the diner. Flyers announced the night, and as dusk settled, patrons flocked to find seats, filling each corner of the diner with anticipation. "Are you ready?" Clara asked, adjusting her hair nervously as they stood backstage, heartbeats echoing in their chests. "Ready as I'll ever be," Jake replied, adrenaline thrumming through him. The lights dimmed, and Ivy stepped onto the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. We're in for a treat. Let's give a warm welcome to our own Jake and Clara." The applause washed over them like a warm embrace as they stepped into the spotlight, the glow illuminating their faces. Jake felt each heart in the room focused on them, each soul hungry for connection through music, and he took a deep breath, pushing past the nerves. They opened with their new song about journeys, and as Clara's voice intertwined with his, he could feel the audience swaying along. Laughter, smiles, and claps filled the diner, and with every note, Jake poured his heart into his performance, feeling the fragments of his life begin to mend under the glow of the stage lights. Between sets, they shared words about their experiences, connecting with the audience on a deeper level. Jake glimpsed Lily from the back, her proud smile like sunshine, and in that moment, he realized that music had become a bridge, a way to heal together as a family. As the night unfolded, they performed songs that echoed through the hearts of those in the diner, stories wrapped in melodies of hope and renewal. Clara's backing harmonies floated gracefully, enhancing each performance, and the crowd responded with claps, cheers, and even a few heartfelt tears. After their final songs, the applause was deafening, washing over them like rain on thirsty soil. They stood hand in hand, overwhelmed by the energy radiating from the crowd. Ivy stood with them, pride radiating from her as she beamed. "You did it. You both were incredible." Jake turned to Clara, awash in disbelief. "We really did it." "We did," she said, tears glistening in her eyes as she wiped them away. "This is just the beginning, Jake." The diner filled with laughter, fellowship, and camaraderie. Patrons lingered at tables, sharing stories about their connection to the songs. The air pulsed with joy, a harmony echoing into the night. With every passing moment, Jake reflected on how far he had come. It was not just about music anymore. It was about family, love, and the gift of connection. The night had become a tapestry of renewed hope and relationships, standing strong in the light of fulfillment. As the last customers filed out, this elusive feeling settled into him, a blend of gratitude and fulfillment. Lily rushed to them, her voice bubbling with excitement. "You were phenomenal. I knew you had it in you." Jake enveloped her in a warm embrace, basking in the glow of their shared love and support. "I couldn't have done it without you." Clara joined them, the three of them standing together under the fading lights of the diner. "What do you say we keep this going? More performances, more songs?" Jake nodded vigorously, the thrill of their new path burgeoning in his heart. "Let's do it. Let's turn this into something we never dreamed possible." That night marked a new chapter, not just for Jake and Clara, but for their family ties. With music guiding them, they embraced each moment, journeying into a future filled with promise, melodies, and the comforting rhythm of love. Together, they would create a life that celebrated not only their shared past, but all the sweet possibilities waiting just around the corner. As weeks flowed into months, the diner blossomed into a cherished hub of music and community. Jake and Clara turned their weekly performances into celebrated events, captivating audiences with songs that resonated with shared experiences. The diner buzzed with life, each note they played binding patrons together like threads in a comforting tapestry. Jake found himself reconnecting with Lily more deeply than ever. She would sketch designs while he played, each passing day further intertwining their lives. Laughter filled their late nights spent critiquing one another's creativity, forming a connection they had long yearned to rediscover. One Saturday, while the diner thrummed with excitement, a familiar figure hesitated at the door. Clara nudged Jake. "Is that Mom?" Jake uttered, disbelief coursing through him. Shirley stood at the entrance, her expression revealing a blend of nervousness and longing. After years apart, she was finally reaching out. Clara stepped forward with open arms. "Shirley, welcome. It's so great to see you." Jake followed Clara's lead but felt his heart pounding with conflicting emotions. "You've been listening to our performances?" he asked, disbelief mingling with longing. "I have," Shirley replied, her voice soft. "I'm proud of you both." "Mom," Lily said cautiously, observing her mother's tentative steps. "We weren't exactly expecting you." "I know," Shirley continued, vulnerable. "But I want to know you both again, to be part of your lives." With the stage dividing them, an invisible bridge began to form, ignited by Clara's gentle insistence. "Why don't we all perform together? It's a great way to start anew." The invitation hung in the air, and as they transitioned from apprehension to hope, the three of them stood together, ready to channel their stories through music. That night, on stage, as they performed songs about love, loss, and reconciliation, the diner became a sanctuary. Jake poured his heart into the melodies, and the audience responded with overwhelming warmth, applause mingling with laughter reverberating off the walls. After their set, Jake stepped off the stage, his heart racing anew. "We can't erase the past," he said to Shirley, sincerity threading through his voice. "But I think we can work toward a better future." With tears in her eyes, Shirley nodded. "I want that too. I miss you both." The warmth of possibilities enveloped them as they embraced the idea of a fresh start. As the weeks rolled by, they organized more performances, welcoming Shirley gradually into their lives. With every note, the hopes and dreams they shared melded together, rebuilding their family ties with newfound strength. Jake, Clara, and Lily explored the idea of recording an album, a project that excited everyone. "Let's share our story with the world," Clara urged one evening, enthusiasm lighting her face. "Yes, let's show others what we've achieved," Jake affirmed, deep gratitude unearthing itself within him. Lily chimed in, "I'm all in. This journey has only just begun." With laughter and promises echoing in the diner, they worked collaboratively to craft their album, pouring their hearts into the melodies that wove their stories together. This time, they weren't just siblings reclaiming their bond. They were artists crafting the soundtrack of their lives. As they practiced, the lights dimmed in the diner, but hope illuminated everything. Their shared moments, filled with music and affection, blossomed into a renewed family dynamic, one where love and creativity thrived. Jake marveled at how far they had come, their voices once strained, now swelling in harmony. The diner was no longer just a place for meals. It was a home for dreams, healing, and togetherness. The end of one chapter paved the way for a vibrant new beginning, a symphony of life waiting to be played. In the embrace of the diner's warmth, filled with laughter, passion, and a commitment to one another, Jake realized that they were united not just by blood, but by the magic of music, the memories of their past, and the bright open road ahead. Together, they would sing their story into existence, crafting melodies that captured the essence of who they had become and who they were still destined to be.